Hello, everyone. I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to listen to me and also show some interest in learning about how to become a technical sales engineer. I know you may be wondering, for some of you out there may be wondering, what is a sales engineer? Why would you want to become a sales engineer? And, what are the benefits of transitioning from whatever your traditional technical job entails to being a sales engineer. So hopefully I can explain that for you in a pretty short period of time, and then hopefully you'll understand why it would benefit you in taking this course. So first of all, let's talk about who I am. So my name is Dwayne Williams. I have over 20 years in the field of information technology. I started off in IT back in 1997 as a QA test engineer intern for a software company up in Rochester, Michigan. I was a senior at Oakland University, majoring in management information systems at the time. I worked in various different companies as a support engineer, installer, network engineer, and eventually a wireless network engineer. So during that time, as you guys know, and one of the reasons why you guys are students at the Cloud Tech Academy is that, in our field, it's more beneficial to achieve industry certifications. So I started off my certification track in the Microsoft discipline, learning or actually going down the Microsoft certified systems engineer track, by getting the Microsoft Professional first, and of course the MCSE. I eventually transitioned into computer networking, starting off with Nortel Systems, eventually studying the Cisco, going down the Cisco track, obtaining my CCNA, my CCNA wireless, and then once I kind of decided I was going to focus on one thing, which was wireless technologies, I went down the Certified Wireless Network Professionals track, and I started off with the Certified Wireless Network Associate, which is CWNA, and then I eventually became one of the first 200 certified wireless network experts in the world. Now, I'll say all of that, and I know it sounds like, well, I must have been some type of a computer geek, or I was really into computers growing up, but actually I wasn't. I was more into sports. I did play video games, but video games that I played were sports video games. I played basketball, football, baseball. I didn't really get into computers until I was in college, and I really decided that that was what I wanted to major in based on the fact that I didn't want to go to college for longer than 4 years. Um, Another important thing to know about me is that I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan. I don't know if there's any fellow Flintstones or Bedrock people out there, but as you know, Flint has had some trouble recently, but it's a small town and a very close knit people. And one thing we're known for is being hardworking and being honest. So you may wonder, why am I here, right? And why would I want to teach you about sales engineering? So I've been a sales engineer for about 8 years now, and I kind of stumbled into the position. I was actually a on-prem engineer at a hospital, and what happened was, I was up for a promotion, and my manager was telling me that, you know what, in order for you to get this promotion, you need to be certified in wireless technologies. So I achieved that certification, and once I achieved that certification, instead of being promoted, they actually hire someone off of the street, or actually someone that the manager knew from another company, to take that position of senior network engineer. I was pretty upset about it, So I said, you know what, let me see what's out there. And I just expected to go to another company to be an engineer, another hospital probably, and just be another on-prem engineer. And then I saw a job for, at the time, it was called a technical architect. So when I saw that job out on LinkedIn, I applied for it. What can it hurt? It was for Motorola Solutions. And the hiring manager called me. We had a phone interview, and then he flew me down to Dallas, and we had this interview, which was a very non-traditional interview for that time period, where I was used to going to an office and sitting in front of someone and going through technical questions and situational questions and wearing a suit and tie and all of that. Whereas we literally met in a coffee shop, and it was him and one of his top engineers, and we kind of just talked, about my career and what I knew about Motorola and the field of network engineering and things like that. The technical, the engineer asked me a couple technical questions. We kind of hit it off, and then one of the questions he asked me is like, well, so what are you what are you most apprehensive about becoming a sales engineer? And I said to him, well, you know what? I've never sold anything in my life. The one reason why I chose to be an engineer is because it's a logical thought process, and I don't have to make anything up. And he said, well, in this position, you won't have to make anything up. This is, even though the title has sales in it, or in the job description it has sales in it, there's a minimum amount of sales that you're doing. And we're getting deep into that, why that explanation is what it is. Now, another reason is that, once I became a sales engineer, my life changed drastically. I went from getting up every day, putting on my corporate, outfit, where they call it business casual, and going into my office, making sure I'm there at 7 a.m. And, I would leave at 5 p.m. every day. We had an on-call schedule. I had a pager. So that meant that at any moment during that on-call session, or during my on-call, that I could be woken up, whether it's 2, 3 in the morning, and having to go perform a break fix at the hospital or one of the ministries or one of the data center, things of that nature. Same stuff that, a lot of operation engineers, a lot of you guys may be doing now. Once I became a sales engineer, all of that changed. I started to travel the country. I started to travel the world. I've been places like the Bahamas. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Europe. And I've been to Mexico, all for work. And as you see, what the meme here says is, one of the main reasons why I decided this was a good idea for me to present this course and teach this course is because, in my career as a sales engineer, a solutions engineer, I've probably met the number of African American sales engineers I've met since I've started, I can count on one hand. And that also includes how many females that I know are in this field. And I don't think it is on purpose. It's just that in this field, it's more of a word of mouth. People hire who they know. They try to hire people who have experience. And it's hard to get that experience if you don't know the people in the field. So hopefully by the time you take this introductory course and then the following more advanced course, you'll have the knowledge of what it takes to become a sales engineer, and not only become a sales engineer, but be a successful sales engineer. So let's kind of talk about what a sales engineer is and what a sales engineer does in the industry. So basically, a sales engineer is a hybrid of sales and engineering in markets where buying decisions are made based on technical information and rational analysis. So for those of you who are engineers at companies, let's just use Coca-Cola for example, right? Or let's say Delta Airlines. So Delta Airlines is going to have a corporate office. They're going to have warehouses, of course, and then there's the airport and the airport hangars where the airplanes, go in and out of the airport. Well, there's multiple technologies and technology solutions, whether it's software or hardware, that Delta Airlines needs to run that business. Each one of those uh, solutions and companies that sell those solutions has a sales team. And that sales team has a combination of salespeople or account executives, account managers, and what we call sales engineers, solutions engineers, technical architects, that their main job is to be able to handle the technical aspects of the sales process. So you may wonder who hires sales engineers. So as you see here, all the top IT companies or computer companies in the world have sales engineers. Companies such as Amazon, Google, Cisco, and Microsoft, all disciplines that you guys are learning at the Cloud Tech Academy on how to be experts in these particular solutions. Well, each one of these companies has a sales team, and like I said before, that sales team needs the technical resource to be able to talk to companies and corporations in order to sell their solutions and services. And that's why it's important to have a sales engineering organization within that company. So I know the biggest question that you probably want to know is, can I make a lot of money? Right? And the answer is absolutely yes. As you see here, the average sales engineer base salary is $96,000 a year, with additional cash compensation of $26,000 a year. If you get to the senior level, it averages out to about $115,000, with an average of $32K cash compensation. And the way that works is you receive a base salary, just like what you're probably making now, and that base salary is I would say 99%, 95% of the time a six-figure salary. That means it's going to be over $100,000 a year. And it'll vary, right, depending on what organization. Those organizations that I showed on that last slide, it's going to be those are the cream of the crop. So that those averages are going to be a lot higher. I would say in the 130 to 160 range if you get hired at one of those companies. And with the compensation, what happens is you receive a commission based on the amount of sales that are in your territory or on your target account list that you achieve when compared to your quota attainment. That's something we'll talk about. But the main thing to know is you can make a lot of money being a sales engineer, and without having the pressure that, say, an account manager or a traditional salesperson has. It's a lot tougher to find a technical resource that has experience actually supporting the solutions that you're selling than it is to find a good salesperson. Because a really good salesperson can sell anything, but they can't do what a sales engineer can traditionally cannot provide the benefits that a sales engineer provides to an organization. So if you ask yourself, what will you learn in this course? The first thing is you'll learn how to begin to develop your skills needed to be a successful SE. So what that means is, what I'll teach you is the basic skills that you will need to learn and develop when you're transitioning from a traditional technical position, whether you're an on-prem engineer, a technical support rep, someone who does installs and professional services. I'll talk to you about what skills you can develop to transition to being an SC. I'll also touch on all of the technical skills, sales concepts, and techniques and strategies that you may not know a lot about if you've never done sales. Because the thing that a lot of engineers, when they see sales in the title, is that, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to cold call people. I don't want to do any song and dance in front of customers. I don't want to make anything up. And if you take this course, you will learn that none of that is true. There are a few more skills that you would add on to what you do now. But by adding these skills to your technical expertise, you can increase your compensation, 30 to 50%. So this is going to be a 2-day course. I've broken it down in 3 modules per day. The first module on day 1 is an overview of sales engineering and the sales process. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'll kind of dive deeper in some of the things I talked about of what a sales engineer is, what their daily job is, and how important they are to the sales organization. I'll break down the sales process and define each area of the sales process that as it relates to being a sales engineer. We'll talk about discovery and first customer engagement. So basically what your role is, what a sales engineer's role is in the discovery and first customer engagement process. What a sales engineer role when it comes to the initial presentation, performing an effective demonstration or demo of the products that you're selling, and how to complete a efficient and effective proposal. And day 2, we'll talk about the evaluation stage, which includes the proof of concept. We'll talk about what a proof of concept is, how to successfully manage a proof of concept. We'll talk about what the engineer's role is when it comes to completing the negotiations and, more importantly, to close the deal. And then we'll end with the actual compensation plan and, more importantly, how you get paid, right? You understand the having a base salary because that's what you're earning now, whether you're hourly or salary, and most likely you get paid every other week or twice a month, or some of you guys may get paid every week. But imagine receiving that same check that you're getting every other week, and then receiving a third check every month that is the majority of the time going to be more than your other 2 regular payroll checks. So we'll definitely discuss that. So in closing, I hope that this was a good introductory to what this course will entail, and I really look forward to educating you guys on the field of sales engineering and helping you improve your career and your life for the better. Thank you, and have a good day.